I would probably describe Expos just like it's an exceptional way to transition to college writing.
That was my first writing class where the sole purpose was to teach me how to make a written argument.
It's really about working with your skills and building on those skills.
I wanted to start from the ground up, and I think it was one of the most positive experiences I've had at Harvard.
Expos 10 is not a grammar course. It's not an ESL course, English as a second language course. It's a college-level introductory course to academic argument, how to write logically, how to write thesis-driven essays. I think it's helpful to think about Expos 10 and 20 sharing the same mission, the big picture for why we ask students to take Expos at all in their freshman year, and why we hope they'll continue to develop as writers at Harvard, is that we want students to become clear and ethical communicators.
I think it's really important to understand that getting the invitation to come in for one of those advising conferences does not mean that you've been placed in Expos 10. It just means we want the chance to have a conversation with you about what your writing background is like and what the course is like. We know that the writing exam is one window into your writing background, but we want the bigger picture. So we want to talk to you about what your secondary school papers were like, what you think your strengths and challenges are as a writer. And through that conversation and from our experience looking at your exam, we're actually going to try to help each student make his or her own best decision.
Having a classroom full of people who want to be there, who are all on the same page about the goals of the course, and the importance of getting better at the thing that we're focused on in the class, makes Expos 10 a joy to teach.
Common misconception that a lot of people have about Expos 10 is that it's only for international students. But I would say that that's not true, because I'm not international and I loved this class.
Students who take Expos 10 come from a wide variety of backgrounds, and they take Expos 10 for an equally wide variety of reasons. Some of them take 10 because they feel that they have arrived at Harvard from a secondary school that just didn't give them as much practice at certain kinds of academic writing that they know they will need to do here. Plenty of students who take Expos 10 are great at particular kinds of writing, but there's a particular kind of analytical writing that Harvard papers require, and we want to make sure that students have as much practice at that as possible. I think most important to know from the beginning is that sections of Expos 10 are smaller. There are only 10 students in each section, and that means that each preceptor gets to know those students very well very early in the semester. Expos 10 students also practice the fundamental steps of argument several times before they write a major paper.
The basic difference between Expos 10 and Expos 20 is that in Expos 10 we try to sort of take on the skills in a more linear fashion. First this, then this, then this, rather than 3 or 4 things all at once.
Talking about writing is, surprising as it might seem, one of the most important aspects of becoming better at writing. A specific element of writing will be introduced at the beginning of class, a little bit of discussion will take place around that element, and then students will break into small groups and workshop, and from there we often bring the small group back to the class as a whole.
We got to hands-on work with the ideas, and that really helped me learn how to take in information and how to organize it so I could better prepare myself to write the outlines and the rough draft for the papers.
My favorite part of Expos 10, I think it's the peer reviews, the peer conferences. I loved reading other people's essays. Also getting feedback from your peers is always a good thing.
I find that students regularly say that the one-on-one conferences are something that they remember about Expos 10 for years to come.
It was a greater learning experience for me than even in the classroom.
In Expos 10 you have 2 conferences. You have a conference before you write your paper and then one after you write your paper, and that experience was beneficial for every single writing assignment I've had after that.
The students clearly improve a great deal over the course of the term. And that's a satisfying thing for me as an instructor. It's a satisfying thing for them as students. So I think that's really the heart of the matter.
The longest essay I have written before, it was like my college application essay. So there was no doubt about me that I needed to take really a fundamental class on writing. And it was definitely like probably the best decision that I had like on the fall.
My favorite part of Expos 10 was when I realized that there's a method to the way papers are written. I thought you just go in and things happen, you just write.
In the beginning, you're struggling to write a summary, and then in the end, you can write like a 7-page like paper, and that's pretty rewarding.
The concern for the elective is always going to exist. I think it's a much better decision to take something that will make the next 4 years or the next 3.5 years easier.
I still have like all the handouts that my preceptor gave me, and I would like look over them like even now when I'm like taking my tutorial, which is also like a very like writing intensive class.
Writing is a skill that you're going to need for any type of job and for the rest of your life. And I think that the best way to stay on top of your writing is to keep practicing.
Writing is the way humans communicate, so you better learn to do it.